list.
I hear you on that one. All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Together, we're Backyard Musings, broadcasting Apple Valley, California. We are the
Science and Technology Channel. Sorry. In a fog there. Sorry.
All right. Depression is a mental health condition affecting approximately 280 million people worldwide. It is twice as common in women as in men. That's staggering. A disparity that begins to emerge during adolescence. While previous research has explored the biological mechanisms underlying depression in adults, highlighting the potential role of the kynurenine pathway. I hope I said that right. Kynurenine pathway. This is the first study to examine the pathway in adolescents, specifically in relation to biological sex. The kynurenine pathway may explain why teenage girls are more prone to depression, with inflammation linked to more harmful brain chemicals. Published in Biological Psychiatry, the study was funded by MQ Mental Health Research and supported by the National Institute for Health and Care Research, Maudsley Biomedical Research Centre. Would you like to know more?
The kynurenine pathway is a metabolic process that breaks down tryptophan, an amino acid present in many foods. Tryptophan, that's in turkey, right? That's what causes you to kind of go to sleep.
Tired?
Take a nap, yep.
Yeah.
An amino acid present in many foods. In the brain, this breakdown can follow two distinct routes. One that generates neuroprotective compounds and another that leads to the production of neurotoxic substances. Key byproducts include kynurenine acid, which protects brain cells, and quinolinic acid, which can be harmful to the brain cells, I guess, right? Harmful to your brain cells. So one protects, one's harmful.
Yeah. Senior author Professor Valeria Mondelli, clinical professor of psychoneuroimmunology at King's IOPPN, and theme lead for mood disorders and psychosis at NIHR, Maudsley BRC, said, quote, "Adolescence is a time when many changes occur in the brain and body." Oh, that's for sure. "But we still know very little about the possible biological drivers for depression and how this might affect the difference between teenage boys and girls. Our study indicates that kynurenine pathway plays a role in development of depression during the teenage years, which may help us to understand why there is a higher incidence amongst girls. During adolescence, there are a wide range of social and individual factors that influence mental health, and by identifying the biological pathways involved, we hope we can help build a clear picture of how we can help teenagers manage depression," end quote.
Okay, so that's another thing we talked about on the last segment was an increase of ADHD and how it relates to Alzheimer's or dementia. When you were going to school, when I was going to school, I don't remember kids being depressed. So
I don't either.
A lot of anxiety now, a lot of depression. Suicides are up.
Oh yeah.
It's just crazy. So I don't know. You'd think that they'd be able to figure out a way to tie all this stuff together. So
I don't know.
Okay. Using blood tests, the study assessed the levels of kynureninic and quinolinic acids in a group of 150 teenagers from Brazil. I wonder why they picked Brazil. Aged between 14 and 16. The teenagers belong to one of three groups: those with low risk of depression, those with high risk of depression, and those who had been diagnosed with depression. Interesting. Risk was assessed using a measurement or a measure that had been developed as part of the Identifying Depression Early in Adolescence, IDEA. Interesting that idea, project, and considers a range of factors. So, I don't know.
There were 50 adolescents in each group, and they were evenly divided by biological sex to explore differences between male and female adolescents. The adolescents were tracked over 3 years to assess if their depression symptoms persisted or improved. King's College London researchers found that adolescents with a higher risk for depression or who have a current diagnosis of depression had lower levels of kynurenine acid, the neuroprotective compound. This reduction was most evident in female adolescents, suggesting that girls might be more vulnerable to the harmful effects of an imbalanced kynurenine pathway during adolescence, potentially explaining why females experience depression at higher rates.
The study also measured specific proteins in the blood that indicate the body is in an inflammatory state and are released during infection, stress, or illness. It found that higher levels of these inflammatory markers were linked to increased production of neurotoxic chemicals in the kynurenine pathway. Notably, this association was found in adolescents at high risk or with depression, but not in low-risk adolescents. This suggests that inflammation might drive the kynurenine pathway towards producing neurotoxic chemicals, increasing the risk of depression. Okay.
In the follow-up 3 years later, the study showed that female adolescents with persistent depression had higher levels of neurotoxic metabolites than those who recovered over time, suggesting that increased neurotoxic activity in the kynurenine pathway could make depression harder to overcome for some adolescents.
First author and senior research associate at King's IOPPN, Dr. Nagme Nikheslat, said, quote, "Our study indicates that the measurement of chemicals involved in the kynurenine pathway could potentially help identify those who at risk of persistent depression, particularly amongst females, as well as inform the approaches we take to providing support." I don't know where we get this stuff. This insight could help develop more targeted support for teenagers with depression through interventions that work in a range of ways on the kynurenine pathway, from medication to lifestyle changes such as diet and exercise. Yeah, here we go. I wonder why they picked Brazil for this test.
Not sure.
Yeah.
It's got a whole range of classes, like really poor, really rich, and middle. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm glad that they're researching this to try and help and find out. I mean, that's encouraging.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because this is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Depression or anxiety, or, I mean, you know, especially during the younger formative years, that's a tough time. You know, these kids need to hopefully be able to get through all this, and then they can go crazy when they're older, right?
I guess.
But yeah, when they're kids, they should be having fun.
They should be having fun. Yeah.
Not dealing with depression and going through all that stuff. So, yeah. I hope they find a kick for this.
Yeah. Let's keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on this, see if any more research comes out.
Yep.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
Take care. Thanks.